What do you think of online married couples?
What do you mean online married couples?
There's a lot of online Muslim married couples coming up.
Oh,
Like
I see what you
people
mean. Okay.
vlogging together,
Yeah.
whatnot. How do you feel about them?
I mean,
'Cause I'm sure you've come across them because they're like rife on YouTube and everywhere.
I can only speak for myself, because I understand difficulties that people go through, and people go through all types of difficulties, and tests, and fitna, and a lot of the fitna is to do with it's not always easy to kind of do what's right. So I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only speak for myself, and for myself, I just enjoy, alhamdulillah, keeping that side of things private. People ask questions. I remember I typed my name in on Google once. I typed in Faisal Choudhry, and the first suggestion that came up was Faisal Choudhry's wife.
Same thing with
which
me.
I find kind of rude. And the reason I find it a bit tough is because I actually came across something yesterday which it amazed me, and it's that I was speaking to Sheikh, I think it was Sheikh Bangura at
Sheikh Abdurrahman Bangura, yeah.
Iman channel. And I was asking for help with my Muhadditha exam. So I said, we've got the exams coming up and I'm really struggling, and the thing that I'm probably going to struggle the most with is the Arabic speaking. So I said, can you help me with it? And so he started speaking to me in Arabic, and he said, what do you do after work? He said, Ba'da amal. And I said, so I started explaining to him in Arabic what I do after work. And then at one point I said to him, like after dinner, I talk with my wife. And I said Zoji, yeah, and he goes, and he stopped me and he goes, in the Arabs they never speak about their wives, and he said they so say ahli, my family, because it's not what they do in their culture. You don't speak about your wife, you just say family. You just And then I started thinking, wow, subhanallah, my teachers, they will never ask me about my wife, but they'll ask about my family, but they know, because
that's what they're talking about,
right? Exactly. And I think that's so beautiful, because when someone asks you about your wife, you do like sort of feel a hit, like, oh, like, why are you asking me about my wife?
Remember,
leave it alone. Do you know what I mean?
You
feel so then when the but whenever the teachers are like, how's family, I'm like, yeah, alhamdulillah, family's good. You know what I mean? And so I found that so beautiful, and that's only something I realised yesterday. For the last year or 2 years, they've never mentioned that, even though they know. I
remember the first time someone mentioned that to me.
Yeah.
They said, how's your wife? How's the wife doing?
It hurts a bit, doesn't it?
I actually remember sitting and I remember overthinking about that and thinking, why is he talking about my wife for?
Yeah.
Like, why is he saying it like that and whatnot and this, that and whatnot? And it's a bit, it's interesting to hear you say the same thing, because I thought I'm just like going ballistic. Like, am I overthinking?
Yeah, and it's just about having, I suppose, about having Gheerah, and it's about like, it's not about not wanting people.
What's Gheerah? Because I'm sure there's
like protective jealousy.
Of
and like I said, people could twist it and say, oh, like, you don't want anyone to know about your wife and you're oppressive and this, that, the other. But
no.
Alhamdulillah, like I mentioned earlier, alhamdulillah, I'm very, very blessed and fortunate, to be in a position that I am. And so I have no time to entertain those discussions, because I know myself, I know my relationship, and I like to leave it at that.
You know, with me, the reason I brought up this whole online thing is because, bro, I've noticed with online, these couples, bro. By the way, I'm not saying nothing derogatory about them as couples or whatnot. They can, you're doing your thing. Allahumma barik. Actually, to the contrary of what people might think that's gonna come from this, I actually feel really happy that there's so many. Some of them don't even wear hijab. Some of them wear hijab. Some of them, like, different backgrounds, but they're all married. And it's like promoting this sense of marriage, which is a beautiful thing. But one negative thing which I feel can come from this, and I think it definitely comes from this, is people getting this perception from looking at these people and thinking, oh, that's how my marriage is going to be. They only see Instagram. Because, bro, no one's going to film an argument and put that up. No one's going to talk about an argument. So in the minds of people, it instills this thing where this is how marriage is supposed to be. And then when you get married and you have an argument and you have a clash and then you have a problem, and let's say one day you and your wife are sleeping separately. She's at her mum's house and you're at your whatever family's house, and you're feeling a bit distant and whatnot. These are common things that happen in married couples' lives. Bro, like,
you're right, but I think that applies in anything. When you see someone being successful,
it does,
as an entrepreneur, and you think that when I start a business, I'm going to be just like this person. I'm going to be speaking in front of thousands of people, but it's not like that. You have a lot of struggles. You have to.
It applies
go
with
for
everything,
some- yeah,
definitely.
of course.
Definitely.
So I think that I kind of somewhat is upon the person themselves to not be so naive to think that their marriage will be like this or their business will be like that. Yeah.
Don't you think it's also upon them as well to kind of put across this thing, or sometimes at least mention, guys, by the way, it is normal to have these sort of things go on in your marriage and stuff like that.
God knows best.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know what
It's true. It was also like a bit of a touchy subject as well and whatnot. But it's like I think definitely as people who look at other people on social media, we definitely need to have this perception that's a real perception.
I think I have my own battle with social media that I'm kind of going through right now. In that I feel like if you're on social media, I have this internal battle right now. In that, when I'm uploading a picture, if I'm uploading a picture with any intention of trying to see how popular that picture will become, is my ego coming into it, or is that something that's even Islamic or Islamically allowed? Because I remember one of the first khutbahs that really struck me when I was in Cardiff was the Khatib speaking about the Islamic personality and saying that the Muslim should be in a way where he doesn't want to be known. However, naturally, because of his the beauty in his character, amongst his small community, he is known as that guy with the good character, but he doesn't seek to be known. And then the more I kind of study, the more I realize, and I think it's no a secret that we, alhamdulillah, have the honor, and Allah has favored us to spend time with people such as Ustad Jamal and Ustad Yahya, who are very, very young, but so knowledgeable, and they continue to study, and they study with some of the most amazing shaykh from around the world, and alhamdulillah we have the ability to kind of learn from them. And one thing that really hit me about what Ustad Jamal said once is that in Islam, power is to be given, not to be sought after. So people should give you power or fame, but you shouldn't be looking for it yourself. So the thing that I struggle with social media right now is that when I'm uploading a picture trying to promote something to do with myself, I'm seeking that power myself, but I shouldn't be seeking that. People should be giving that to a person because of their talent, right? And so when you see someone like Ustad Jamal, who we all know his accreditations, we all know about his Quran, but when you go to him, he will never tell you for himself, for example, that he is hafid in all 10 qira'ah of the Quran, which is something so admirable. But people will say it about him, and because of what people say,
that he's memorized
all 10, right? All 10 ways it can even be read.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's amazing.
But people will say that about him, and that's how it should be. You should be lifted by the people around you, but you shouldn't try and lift yourself.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm struggling with right now. And I think that Allah has maybe given me Freshly Grounded as a route out of social media, because if I do Freshly Grounded more and I lessen my time on social media personally, then that's kind of my route out, in the sense that Freshly Grounded is a brand that I can promote. I'm not promoting myself. So, and why do people watch Freshly Grounded, bro? It's not for me. They watch it because they want to hear about this guest. Yeah. Our most viewed episodes are not the episodes where I'm by myself or me and Sam are by ourselves speaking to each other, but the ones where we have a specific guest on. And that makes me a bit more comfortable. Knowing that people are watching for someone else and not for me makes me a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.